Into we have discussed it in our earlier videos that each and every atom is electrically neutral, which means that they have the charges which are present on the atoms uh, are balanced. The positive charges are balanced by the negative charges of electrons. The positive charge of protons is balanced by the negative charge of the electrons. So the atom is electrically behave as a neutral. In order to get stability, the atoms form bonds. And the covalent bonds, you will notice that the covalent bond will exist between the non-metals. So let's start with its definition first. Covalent bonds, its definition is bond which is formed by mutual sharing of electrons between two non-metals. For example, bond between two hydrogen atoms is a covalent bond. Hydrogen is a non-metal which is on the right hand side of the periodic table on the top of the first group elements. So here is the hydrogen atom. It has one electron in its outermost shell. So hydrogen wants to complete its duplet to get stability. So it binds with another hydrogen atom covalently. It share its valency with another hydrogen atom valency, and get stability. A covalent bonds between atoms in a molecule is shown by electron dot and electron cross symbol. So we will also discuss this thing, that how we will represent the covalent bonds, or how we will recognize covalent bonds, that these structures or these diagrams show the covalent bonds, or the compounds or the molecule are showing the covalent bonds between them. We will also discuss this in this video. It's shown by the dot and electron cross symbols. In order to understand sharing of electrons between them, we will adopt these two ways, dot and cross structures. The valence shell electrons of one atom are shown by dot, and the other atom are shown by the crosses. So these two elements, you can see that these two atoms of hydrogen, we have shown the covalent bond between them as a dash. The dash symbolizes that there is a covalent bond between these two hydrogen atoms. In order to comprehend it more easily and make it easy to understand, we will go for some example. We will discuss in this video single covalent bond, double covalent bond, and triple covalent bond as well, so that you can understand it easily and you can uh, give an elaborative answer inside your question paper in the upcoming exam, inshallah. uh, so however electrons are identical, so the shared pair of electrons is also shown by a dash between them. So the electrons, as you know, that the electrons, whatever kind of atom the electrons are possessed by, or what kind of element that may be, the electrons are always the same. It will always have the same negative charge, and it will behave the same way as in one atom as with the other atoms. So electrons are the same, so we represent this covalent bond as a dash in the symbolic representation, by a dash between the atoms and the molecule. The reason, what is the reason behind this? Why covalent bonds are formed? Covalent bonds form between two non-metals. As you know that the non-metals are very much reluctant. They do not want to lose their electrons anyways. Because of this very latest structure in their molecular in their atoms, they have high ionization energy. You know, ionization energy is that amount of energy which is required to remove an electron from an atom. to remove an electron from an atom, the amount of energy you will need is the ionization energy. So they do not lose electrons. Number second is no loss or gain takes place. So in covalent bond, you will notice this is the other reason, that there is no gain or no loss of electrons. It is, as the definition mentions, this is the mutual sharing between two atoms of the same element or of different elements. So they share electrons. What they do, they share electrons, and by sharing their electrons with their own atoms or atoms of other elements, and achieve electronic configuration of nearest noble gas and follow octet or duplet rule. So here is the thing, atoms tend to share their valence electron in order to get stability. Why? Because in covalent compounds, the atoms do not want to lose their outermost electrons. So they will become happy or happier if they do share their electrons with the same atoms of the element or of different elements. We will see in a minute how do they do this thing and get the covalent bond formation. So in order to share these electrons, they want to get the duplet or octet rule, which is, in a duplet rule, the elements atoms tend to complete its outer shell. This is the outer shell. If it follows the duplet rule, then it will have to complete this shell with 2 electrons. But here you can see that it has, the fluorine atom has 7 electrons. So it will follow the octet rule and it will have to complete its outermost shell with 8 electrons. Then it will follow the octet rule. So this way it combines its valency with another fluorine atoms, which is shown in the crosses here, and the left one is in the dot structure. This is the dot structure and the other atom shown here in the cross structure. So as you can see, 2 electrons are here, 2 electrons are here, 2 electrons are here. In total they make 6 electrons. This 1 electron, this fluorine atom shares with this fluorine atom, which is shown by the cross here. This fluorine atom's electrons are shown by the crosses. So when they do share these electrons, these valence shell of these 2 atoms overlap each other, and now it becomes stable because this very fluorine atom has 8 electrons and it becomes stable, as well as this very atom also gets its octet and gets the noble gas, nearest noble gas configuration, neon. And here you can represent it as well this way. This is 2 electrons here, 2 here, 2 here, and this is the lonely electron which it share with the other fluorine atom. These are the crosses, 2 here, 2 here, 1 on this side, and this very cross is shared electron with this very fluorine atom. We can write the covalent bond like this and also represent it by the dash mark in the diagram. So here are the examples. As you can see here, this is the oxygen atom. Oxygen has 6 electrons in outermost shell. This is another oxygen atom. These two atoms of oxygen combine their valencies, combine their electrons, share their electrons, and this way this very chlorine atom, oxygen atom, share its 2 electrons with this very oxygen atom and get stability. This is the structure through which you can represent it. These are the dashes which represent the covalent bond. This atom has 2 covalent bond. If an atom share only a single electron or during the covalent bond formation it share only one electron, then we say that it is a single covalent bond. In the case of double covalent bond, the single covalent bond is formed by sharing of one pair of electrons between non-metal atoms. Each atoms contribute or share one electron to complete the duplet or octet. It is shown by single dash between two bonded atoms. Fluorine, as we have discussed it in a while before, fluorine belongs to group 7. It has 7 electrons in its valence shell. It requires one more electron to complete its octet. So each fluorine atom has share one electron for sharing and make single covalent bond between them and fluorine molecule. This is the fluorine molecule. This is the fluorine molecule. As you can see here, this is the fluorine molecule. It belongs to the group 7. And now is the oxygen. Has 2 electrons, shared electrons with the other oxygen atom. And double covalent bond is the double covalent bond, the bond between sharing a pair of between two non-metal atoms. In double covalent bond, sharing of 2 electron pairs between two non-metals. Each contributes in double covalent bond 2 electrons to complete its octet, and it is represented by double dashes between bonded atoms. Oxygen belongs to group 6A. It has 6 electrons in its valence shell. It requires 2 more electrons to complete its octet. Oxygen atom shares 2 electrons for sharing, makes double covalent bond between them in oxygen molecule or O2 molecule. Here you can see this double dash. And now we will come to the third, our triple covalent bond. Triple covalent bond, the covalent bond which is formed in nitrogen, sharing 3 pair electrons between non-metals. Triple covalent bond hai. Each atom shares 3 electrons to complete its octet. By 3 parallel dashes we will represent this very bonded atoms between the nitrogens. Nitrogen belongs to 5A, which means that it has 5 electrons in its valence shell. You can see here, these are the 5 electrons, 1 here, 1 here, and 3 here. So 2 and 3, 5. This is another nitrogen atom. These 3 electrons are shared by this atom of nitrogen, and these 3 electrons are shared by this nitrogen atom. And this way they share 3 pairs of electrons, and we will represent it in the covalent bonded between these 2 bonded nitrogen atoms with the 3 dashes, as you can see here in the video. Now we will discuss a little bit about the 2 non-metals, that is the carbon and the hydrogen. Carbon has 4 electrons in its outermost shell. As you can see, these red dots, red crosses, and these are the hydrogen atoms which are surrounding the carbon. So one hydrogen is needed. Hydrogen is in need of an electron, a single electron, to complete its duplet. So do this hydrogen atom and this hydrogen atom and this hydrogen atom. This way the carbon share its 4 electrons with these 4 hydrogen atoms and gets the electronic configuration of the nearest noble gas and becomes stable compound, which is the methane. Methane is a major component of the natural gas that we use in our kitchens, in our industry all over Pakistan. Hope this makes sense. In the next video, inshallah, we will discuss something more about the bonds and how do they behave when they form bonds between each other. Allah Hafiz, take care.